I had no idea how it's going to work, but looking at these processes at a very high level, evolutionary perspective, that's why I'm here. You know, for most people, that's sort of a spiritual question, right? Why am I here? What's my purpose in life? And that obviously is a spiritual question for me. It's a philosophical question, but it's also a professional question. I began to see that my training has developed such that I'm well suited to look at legal systems that exist currently on the planet and see how they can evolve. Not just at a philosophical level, academic level, but at a litigation level, right? At a very practical level. Do I know how that's all going to work? All the nuts and bolts of that? No. Once I released my thinking that I knew how it would work, things start to expand. Things start to come in. They start to connect. Okay? As long as I think I can figure it out, I can't really figure it out. And so there's all these bottlenecks that come into play. Resistance starts to play a role. As long as I try to find out how the legal system is going to change and know where I'm going to fit, I get depressed about it. I see so much resistance, and I see so many obstacles that I don't act. Action is all that's needed. Once I begin to act, all these forces in the universe start to come into play. New dynamics are created. That's been my experience. It's not separate from the legal system. It's not separate from my family life. It's not separate from political life. It's not separate from community life. It's not separate at all. It's part of oneness. It's part of the way the universe works. So I see now that one of the dimensions of law, and I see this in science, I see it in philosophy, I see it in ancient cultures, I see it in my own experience, is that laws are energy. Okay? They're the source of action. And that action is energy. It's just part of the universe. Everything in the universe is energy. That's all it is, right? So when we act on the basis of some principle, we're acting in an energetic way. What we've been doing over centuries has created such an imbalance, such an energetic imbalance, that it has real effects. It has effects on the ecology, it has effects on the legal systems, it has effects on the financial systems, it has effects on people's health, on their lifestyles, on systems, family systems breaking down. That's the result of imbalance. When it really comes down to it, it's a matter of energetic imbalance. It's out of harmony. So my task is to get people to see that that's the cause, all right? And that the solution also is based on finding balance in the decision-making processes, in the laws that they enact, in the legal systems that are used to carry out those laws, in the ways they interact with each other. As they start to find ways to create balance between the rights of humanity and the rights of nature. Okay, that's a principle that I'm trying to bring forward. So if you just take that principle, that the fundamental premise that the reason why we're seeing all these negative outcomes, negative results, we try mightily to tie it directly to some act, all right? Some act that's close in time and close in proximity, and try to see that's the cause. And so what's the cause of global warming, all right? And so we try to really pinpoint where's it coming from and what are our actions. And we've done a really good job. And Al Gore did a great job of bringing that into public consciousness about, you know, through an inconvenient truth about here's some scientific facts, okay? Here's some data. And you can start to see how the connection between actions by humans and outcomes on the planet, all right? There are places where you can't really see that connection, and where people can't really see how their own actions, when they are thinking about an ordinance, for example, whether to approve a project in their community, can they really see the connection, the direct connection between the law that they're about to enact and outcomes, right, for the bigger ecosystem, right? My role, I hope, is to work with others to get them to see that there are certain principles that function in the universe. And we're learning this through quantum physics, we're learning this through biology, we're learning this through medicine, we're learning it through all of these scientific systems. Certain principles, laws call them, if you will, of the universe, function in certain ways. And if you want your laws at a local level, at a national level, at an international level, to work in harmony with the bigger system, the ecosystem, your community, the world, the universe, it might be a good idea to at least try to find some harmony with those principles that are at work. We thought we did that in times past. For example, the United States Constitution, it really derived from a system of what was called natural law at the time, right? Natural laws affected Jefferson's approach to individual rights, the rights of humanity. Those laws came from a source that we thought was divine principles, divine right. And so we used those and we changed them, and human consciousness affected them. Now I think we're starting to see, and I hope to get others to see, that science is revealing there's another set of laws that function in everything that we do. Every action that we take. Those laws are universal laws, right? We don't have a complete understanding of them, but we have a pretty good understanding. And so I'd like to get people to see in their decision-making processes that the energy that they bring to those processes is important. The balance that is achieved through those processes is important, right? Not just whether a political group over here has what they want versus a political group over here has what they want, and the battle between them. That's not the only consideration, although it has been. That's really how laws have been evolved over the last couple of centuries, really. Okay? And that's why they're so out of balance. Because in that process, the role of money has started to play a bigger and bigger part. Power has been influenced, shifting the balance to not just humanity versus nature, but corporations versus individuals, nations versus communities. That balance has been completely shifted.